What is good, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my Change Your Trajectory series. In video 1, we made sure to build you a bulletproof concrete foundation to start to build your business on. In video 2, we covered the first skill and arguably the quickest and easiest skill to learn in appointment setting. Just because it is relatively easy does not mean it is not equally as important as all the other skills you're about to learn. Your time setting and communicating with closers should make your transition into closing relatively natural. You already understand the offer, the pipeline, and how prospects think. Now we're about to turn that foundation into your next leap. Welcome to video number 3, remote closing. So what is remote closing? Closing is the first step after appointment setting. Setters make sure the calendar is full of the right people. Closers take those calls and turn warm interest into a decision. You're talking to someone who has already raised their hand, if the setting process did its job. They are genuinely exploring a solution. Your job isn't to bully a yes. Your job is to understand, diagnose, and if they're a true fit, guide them. Guide them into investing in an outcome that they want. Done right, closing feels like this. The prospect arrives with problems and hopes. You create clarity. They leave with a plan and a commitment. And in the process, you generate revenue for the business and real change for the person on the other end of the line. Most of your day is spent on calls at your desk on Zoom, phone, or similar. Because you're attached directly to revenue, your effective hourly rate can range from a few $100s to a few $1,000s an hour when you're performing. Now that might sound insane, but remember, businesses pay for outcomes. When you produce outcomes consistently, you get paid accordingly. Here's what closing isn't. It's not trickery, high pressure nonsense, or making people buy what they don't need. That stuff might produce a quick sale, but it kills trust, kills referrals, causes refunds, and ultimately wrecks your reputation. Closing the right way is consultative, it's calm, it's grounded in curiosity, certainty, and care. You help someone see their situation clearly. You present an honest solution, and you let them decide. And when you do that effectively, you feel good about taking payment, because you know you've matched the right person to the right vehicle. Here's one more reality check for you. Closing income is tied to time on calls. No calls equals no sales. If a call cancels, you plug the hole. If your show rate dips, you fix it. And if your pipeline dries up, you go and hunt. Reactivation, follow up, outbound dialing. You earn what you produce. And that's exactly why building the skill matters so much. The more skilled you are, the more a single hour of your life is worth. Alrighty, let's move on to step number 2, which is how to land a closing role. As setting and closing are very similar roles, you can use a lot of the methods I discussed in the setting video. So if you haven't already, go ahead and watch that one first. Most closers start as setters. The path is very familiar. Okay, number 1, prove it where you stand. If you're setting right now, focus on quality bookings and a tight handoff. Talk to your closers daily. Ask what questions would make their life easier. Filter for fit, communicate notes, pain points, goals, and context. And when your bookings convert, leaders notice. The fastest way into a closing role is to become the setter that feeds the revenue. Number 2, ask for the shot professionally. Once you've got consistent wins, send your manager a clean message. I've been setting for X amount of months and I love working with the team. I'm ready to step up and run a few calls. If I can demonstrate that I can close, I would love to talk about moving into a full-time closing position. Can we trial me on a handful of calls this week? Be specific, be respectful, and make it low risk for them. And if you produce results, the decision becomes obvious. Number 3, get trained properly. Closing has a lot more moving parts than setting. It's very hard to become an elite closer without coaching, role plays, and call reviews. I worked with a mentor and an academy before I took consistent call volume. That prep meant that I wasn't guessing, and the right framework shortens the learning curve dramatically. How to open, how to diagnose, how to transition, how to pitch, how to price drop, when to silence, and how to handle objections without sounding weird. If you want to go down the same path that I took, there's a link in the description to book with a success coach from ABC, the training that gave me structure and reps. Number 4, leverage your proximity. If you're already on the team, you're talking to closers and managers on the daily. People move, seats open up. When you're the setter that books clean calls and communicates well, you're the first person they think of when a chair frees up. Raise your hand, keep performing like you are, and doors will open. Okay, step 3, how to actually run a closing call. I aim to collect 4 core pieces before I ever pitch. Number 1, their motive for change. Why now? What's the trigger? Number 2, pain. What hurts today? What's the cost of staying the same? Number 3, problem. What's blocking their progress and what have they tried that has failed? And number 4, their desired outcome. Where do they want to be and what does their win look like? If I have all 4 of those things, I can build a pitch that fits. And if I'm missing any of them, I'm guessing, and guessing loses. Phase 1 of the closing framework is information gathering. Keep the small talk short, you're friendly, not fluffy. Hey mate, good to meet you, let's jump straight in. What had you booked the call today? That single question unlocks a stream of context. If they're a little bit tight-lipped, use open-ended follow-up questions. You're the friendly professional, curious and focused. You care, but you steer. Now I will go over a few prompts that you can use. Current situation prompts. What are you doing for work at the moment? How long have you been doing that? What specifically makes you want to change now instead of later? If nothing changes, where does this put you in 6 months' time? Some past situation prompts. What have you already tried? What worked for a bit and why did it stall? What do you think was missing? Clarity, accountability, proven steps, community, desired outcome prompts. Let's say 12 months from now, if we're celebrating, what's happened? Don't put a cap on your goals because it feels realistic. What would you actually want if things clicked? Most people will give you a safe number first because they're protecting themselves from disappointment. Your job is to uncover the real goal. When they tell you, reflect it back in their words and get them emotionally present with it. Belief and readiness prompts. If you had the right plan, coaching, and support, do you feel like you could execute and get there? On a scale of 1 to 10, how serious are you about changing this now? Now create contrast. Walk me through the other fork in the road. If you don't do anything different, what does life look like for you 3 months from now, 6 months or 12 months? Now you are not fear-mongering, you're just holding up a mirror. People buy when the cost of staying the same is finally obvious to them. Throughout this phase, you're threading the story. Present, past, future, and gap. You're collecting all the information that you'll use later, and you're hinting that your vehicle addresses exactly what they lacked before. Guidance, accountability, steps, and community. Without dumping a feature list on them, this is how you transition into the pitch. When you've got motive, pain, problem, outcome, belief, and urgency, bridge smoothly. Yeah, got it, that gives me a clear picture. If you like, I can lay out how we would bridge the gap from where you are now, use their words for outcome, and you can tell me if it feels like a fit. Sound fair? Seek permission because people respect that. You're collaborating with them, not bossing them. Phase 3, the pitch. You never want to pitch features. You want to pitch problem solutions in their language. For each thing they said was missing, map the answer. For example, lacked guidance. This is where the weekly coaching calls and 24/7 mentor access matter. You won't wonder what to do next. We set the plan with you and you adjust weekly. You said you lacked clarity. We give you a step-by-step curriculum, no guessing, so each week has a clear objective and checklist. Fell off or felt alone. We build community and accountability into the process. You'll be in a room filled with people on the same path, with public commitments and check-ins, time constraints. We configure around your schedule, micro sprints, weekly targets, and a plan that fits around your work and family. After you pitch each deliverable, you want to loop back to their why. You told me the big driver is getting out of FIFO and being more present with your family on the weekends. This keeps you moving without burning you out. You want to make the plan feel doable. People buy what they can see themselves doing. Phase 4, investment and silence. Be clear when you pitch price, then stay silent. So to get you onboarded today, the total investment is $7,000. Zip it. Silence is your friend. Most new closers panic here and start discounting or over-explaining. Don't. Give them space to think. They'll either say yes or an objection will surface. Either way, you now have clarity. Phase 5 is objection handling. Prevent objections first, solve them second. It's pretty obvious to say that the best objection handling is prevention. Many common objections can be eliminated earlier if you design the call correctly. For example, the partner objection. It usually helps to have you both on the call so we can answer everything once. Can they join today or should we reschedule for a time that suits you both? If the partner is present on the call, that objection is completely gone. If not, reschedule before you pitch. Don't run a full call with only half of the decision-making table present. The price is too high. This is where you want to implement looping. Yeah, I totally get that, bro. Investing in yourself can feel scary. Price aside though, do you feel like this is the right vehicle to get you to desired outcome? If yes, and do you feel ready to commit to doing your part? If yes, so what's the real holdup? Is it cash flow today or something we haven't addressed? If it is truly cash flow, explore options. Payment plans, financing, split payments. If it's a fear objection, acknowledge it and anchor it back to the cost of staying the same. The I need to think about it objection is not a real objection. Usually we don't need time, we need clarity. What's still fuzzy so we can handle it now while we're live? Keep looping around and around until you find the real objection. I've tried something like this before. Yeah, that's completely fair. What specifically didn't work last time? Then re-engineer your pitch to show that your deliverables addresses that exact failure point. Oh, it's just not a good time. Understood. When would be the right time to start creating desired outcome, what changes between now and then? Often, not a good time is just a vague shield. Your job is to test if there's a real reason or if it's just a reflex. Handle with calm certainty. You're not trapping them. You're protecting them from making decisions based on fog. When the air is clear and they're aligned, move to enrollment. Sounds like we're aligned. I'll drop the link here and walk you through it. It only takes about 2 minutes. Stay on with them and support them through the payment. Beyond the call, what separates pros from amateurs? Closing doesn't end when the card goes through. The best closers own the before and after too. Pre-call routine, 15 minutes. You want to review notes from the setting, scan their socials for context, write their name, motive, pain, and goals on a sticky note. That way you're prepared. Take 2 deep breaths, lower your heart rate so you can listen. The post-call routine, 5 minutes. Record crisp notes in the CRM, motive, pain, blockers, outcome, budget, decision dynamics, and the next steps. If they closed, introduce them into fulfillment with a warm handoff. Introduce them with their names, their expectations, and their first milestone. If they didn't close, agree on a specific next touch. Send a recap email/DM and set a reminder. Now these are a few things that are going to boost your show up rate in partnership with the setters. Confirm the time zones and send the calendar invite live. SMS and email reminder for the call the day of and the day before. A short pre-frame note. Just a heads up, on the call we'll map out where you're at currently, where you want to be, what's needed to bridge that gap. Bring any questions for me that you want answered. See you at 4 p.m. or whatever the time is. KPI awareness, numbers that you own. Your show rate is your booked calls compared to attended. Close rate is attended to closed. Revenue per attended or RPA. Cycle time, the time between the first touch and the close. Could be Instagram DMs, inbound or outbound calls. Knowing these lets you course correct fast. If your show rate drops, fix reminders. If your close rate dips, review recordings. If RPA wobbles, examine discounting or qualification. Closing compensation, pipeline, and calendar strategy. Compensation or pay structures can vary. Pure commission, base plus commission, or tired. Read them closely. Great closers care about volume and quality. You want as much qualified time on the calendar as possible. Here's a few calendar rules of thumb. Block focus windows after heavy call blocks for follow-up and admin. Keep similar call types together so you're not switching context every 30 minutes. Remember, leave recovery gaps. You are human. 2 hours of wall-to-wall first-time calls will fry your listening. Now here's a little bit of pipeline hygiene. Tag, note, and follow up with discipline. Keep a short list of high-intent non-buyers and circle back to them when their circumstances change. Partner with the setters. Give them feedback on what qualifies well and what wastes time. Here's a few scripts and talk tracks that you can steal. Use these as your backbone, but customized to your voice. Hey Jack, nice to meet you. To keep us on track, I'll get a quick picture of where you're at currently and where you want to be. Then, if it all makes sense, I'll map out what working together would look like. Sound good? Motivational dig. What made now the moment to book a call? Why not last month? Why not 3 months ago? Desired outcome stretch. If we took the brakes off and you had no realistic cap, what would you actually want to achieve 12 months from now? Transition to the pitch. Based on that, here's exactly how we'd bridge that gap. Stop me anywhere that you want to go deeper. Price drop. To get started today, the total price is $7,000. Stay silent. Looping. Price aside, does this feel like the right vehicle and are you ready to do your part? So is the hold up cash flow or is it something we haven't addressed yet? Think about it. Usually I need time is a sign we're missing a piece. What specifically is still unclear? Partner prevention. It definitely helps to have you both on. Want to bring them on now or should we reschedule for a time that suits you both? Enrollment. Great, we're aligned. I'll send you the link and stay with you while you complete it. It takes 2 minutes. Playing the mental game. What keeps you consistent? Closing is simple, not easy, simple. You ask, you listen, you map, then you guide. The hard part isn't knowledge. It's emotional control. Some days you'll get 3 straight no-shows. Some weeks you'll be 1 conversion away from target. The pros don't ride the emotional roller coaster. They ride the process. Pre-call, breathe, review, focus. On the call, listen more than you speak. Post-call, notes, handoff, and follow-up. And then on the daily, a short debrief, what worked, what stalled, and what to test tomorrow. You don't need heroics, you need standards that don't check the weather. So now I'm going to cover a 30, 60, and 90-day closing ramp. Days 1 to 30 should be focused on learning and your first wins. Shadow 10 to 20 recorded closes. Roleplay daily. Run your first 10 to 20 calls with a senior reviewing or listening. Your target should be a steady show rate, your first few deals closed, and taking clean notes. Days 31 to 60, consistency. Hold full call blocks. Review 3 to 5 calls a week with a mentor. Tighten your objection handling, prevent more, solve less. Target a stable close rate on qualified calls and a rising RPA. Days 61 to 90, ownership. Own your pipelining calendar. Collaborate with setters on qualification language. Document your personal call flow and share your wins with the team. Your target wants to be repeatable week after week performance and proactive pipeline building. Throughout the whole time, keep practicing. The reps never stop. The closers that stay hot keep training while they're hot. Now I'm going to cover ethics, refunds, and long-term reputation. Play the long game. You want happy buyers who win, who refer, and who stick around. Only sell to fit. If they're not truly ready or they're not a fit, say so. Set clear expectations, no miracle timelines. Honest milestones. Ensure fulfillment knows exactly what was promised. If someone is in a crisis, financial or mental, be a human first. Money made the wrong way costs more later. Great closers will create revenue and protect the brand. Now, why do these skills matter beyond sales? Even if your plan is to launch your own offer later, the path is priceless. If you ever want to run a team of setters and closers, you need to know these roles from the inside. You'll learn better, hire smarter, coach faster, and you'll never be held hostage by sales mystery again. Communication that uncovers needs and provides solutions is a life skill. Partnerships, recruiting, negotiation, content, and everything. Bringing it all together. You've now seen both sides of the machine, setting and closing. Setting fills the calendar with the right conversations, and closing turns conversations into results. Learning both gave me the freedom to walk away from the tools and create a life I never thought was possible as an adult. So before we wrap things up, you want to remember the rules of the game. No calls equals no sales. Load the calendar. No clarity, no decisions. Diagnose properly. No standards, no consistency. Practice daily. If they're not a fit, don't sell. Protect yourself and the brand. When you own this craft, a single hour of your life can be worth more than a full day used to be. That's leverage, that's optionality. That's how you buy back your time and you take care of your people. Alrighty, that brings video 3 and our lesson on remote closing to an end. You know what closing is, you know how to land a role, you know exactly how to run the call, how to handle objections without being a muppet, and how to build the numbers that actually pay you. Keep your standards high, keep your pipeline full, and keep your practice sharp. We'll build on this momentum and keep stacking wins. Like I mentioned earlier, if you are looking to get started with setting or closing or both, and you'd like to fast track your progress, there is a link in the description below to book a call with a success coach from the ABC Academy. The exact academy that taught me everything I know and got me exactly where I am today. Other than that, legends, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.